welcome to Meet the Candidate. My guest for this session is Shawn Poole. He is running for mayor of the city of Spokane. Welcome, Shawn.
Thank you, Sue Lani. I appreciate you having me here.
I just start always with asking people to tell me about where did you grow up?
Let's see, where do I start? I was born and raised in Spokane. My mom was a single mother of 5 kids, and we were on welfare. And she's kind of my hero because she got her GED, then eventually went to college and worked for CREM for 20 or 25 years, something like that. So, born and raised here, went to Shadle Park High School. Was fortunate enough to be good at football, so I went and played football at University of Montana. Simultaneously got my degree and my commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. Went on active duty after that and was in the original Desert Shield, Desert Storm in 90 and 91. Got off active duty and I was looking at places to raise a family because at the time I was married with a small child, and you know, it was just second nature to say Spokane. And
to come back home. To
come back home, yes ma'am. And so moved back here and had no idea what I wanted to do. You know, just having left the military, I wasn't a suit and tie type person. And so I was fortunate enough to get hired by the fire department as a firefighter back in 1992. And I've been with them for almost 27 years now.
Okay. I was going to follow it up with a little about your formal education, but it sounds like you kind of covered that too. What did you study in Montana?
Sociology, criminal justice.
What was the most interesting class that you had there?
The most interesting class I had was a criminal justice class where we did a lot of field trips, and we went to Deer Lodge, Montana, correctional facility over in Deer Lodge. And you know, not having been on the inside of a prison, it was real eye-opening to see a lot of the things that modern prisons offer today.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting challenge for the city coming up as well. Outside of school and football, were there some other informal activities or organizations that you like to participate in?
It was predominantly sports throughout school, and I started at a young age playing football back in the 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade. So that's always kind of what I aspired to do. I think I was one of those kids that, you know, I saw myself in the NFL or something like that. And I wasn't big enough and I wasn't fast enough to play in the NFL. So, you know, something similar was the military, actually. And so that was my path in life, at least at that point in time.
What kind of assignments did you have in the military?
I was what's called an air defense artillery officer. So if it flies, we try and shoot it down to protect American forces. And it was basically just a glorified infantry person out on the battlefield. I was on the not so high-tech side of air defense artillery, kind of like bullets. But you know, as everybody knows, we've got missiles and those types of things that you deal with aircraft. So,
okay, well, that's sometimes military experience is excellent experience for managing, because you've got to manage a system that's and a lot of people.
I retired after 30 years as a colonel, combined active duty and reserve time. My last assignment was with the 9th Mission Support Command out of Fort Shafter Flats, Hawaii. And I was what was called the G3, the Training and Operations Officer. So I have, in addition to 30 years of leadership, executive level leadership experience, I've managed multi-million-dollar budgets, and I've managed thousands of people in my capacity as an Army colonel. So I think I'm probably the only candidate that has that type of real-world experience, and that's experience in combat zones, and then that same experience transcends to the fire department. As a fire officer, you know, we have to make those executive level decisions in life and death situations.
Well, let's go back a little bit. And one of the other things I like to ask about is the first job, because those first jobs that we take often shape our attitudes and our work ethics. Did you have an interesting first job you'd like to tell us about? I
did. I had 2 interesting first jobs, and I did them at the same time. I worked in the laundry room when I was 16 at the Ridpath Hotel. Washed and dried laundry and folded it and that type of thing. And at the same time worked for Garland Veterinary Clinic. And that wasn't so nice of a job. I had to care for all the animals that were euthanized at the veterinary clinic. But, you know, that kind of spurned my love for animals. And, you know, kind of the way it is today. I've got 2 English Mastiffs, big giant slobbery dogs, and so I love animals and I love dogs. So
you learned your appreciation for animals. And what did the laundry teach you besides it's really darn hot in there?
it taught me to separate my colors and my whites.
I'm sure there are people in your life who really appreciate that. Of the places that you've lived and traveled, is there some anecdote that has really stuck with you that you've brought back with you to Spokane?
Probably the most. I've been kind of all over the world in my capacity as a military officer. I've been to Seoul, South Korea. Obviously, I was in Iraq, and I think probably the place that stands out most is Iraq, and the sheer contrast between there and how we live in the States. You know, if something breaks over there, or they get tired of something, that seems like they just throw it on the side of the road. And it's a really, really dirty country. And they don't have the infrastructure to deal with things like we deal with. You know, that's why it's so important, and I preach all the time about developing our infrastructure and maintaining our infrastructure, especially in a city of this size.
Well, that sounds like a good place to segue to that closing comment where you get the last minute to say, why should people vote for Shawn Poole for mayor for Spokane?
The elevator speech, huh?
The elevator speech.
As I said before, I think I'm the only candidate, I know that I'm the only candidate with 30 years of executive level leadership experience. I believe in the rule of law, and I believe in holding people accountable. I believe in holding city government accountable. You know, people in this city pay a lot in taxes, and they deserve certain things, and we're not providing those things. 30 years of executive level leadership experience. You know, I don't have a political agenda. I'm not using this run as a stepping stone to get into state or federal politics. I want to serve one term as mayor, and that's all I want to do. I want to leave a legacy for the next mayor that comes in to continue and build on what I've started, and that's taking care of everybody in Spokane, not just a select group of people. So.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in, Shawn, and good luck. Enjoy your campaign.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.